Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Perfect Informations. First of all, I would like to say thanks to all of you for the kind of support you have shown. As promised earlier during the part 1 of National Pension Scheme video, I am here to present with you all the rest and more important informations regarding the National Pension Scheme. In this video, I will tell you regarding the Income Tax Acts applicable to the NPS, the procedure of withdrawal of the money in NPS, the documents required during the withdrawal of NPS money, and the asset classes. In addition to this, I will also tell you regarding the various pension options available in the POPs. So friends, we'll start with asset classes as discussed during the earlier video of part 1 NPS. I have told you that basically there are two types of choices. One is active choice and another is auto choice. In case of active choice, the investor gets a chance to manage his own funds by his own. So friends, when someone selects the active choice, basically there are four types of asset classes in which the whole investment can be saved. Now we'll discuss each asset classes one by one. If we try to name them, the names of these asset classes is Class E, Class C, Class G and Class A. Now we'll discuss each asset class one by one in detail. So firstly we come to Class E. Basically E stands for equity, means the money here is invested predominantly in equities. And friends, as you all know that equities are subject to market risk, so the risk is higher in these equity bonds. Now friends, the second class is the Class C. The C stands for corporate debts. So it deals with the bonds issued by PSUs or PFIs. Third asset class is the class G. G stands for government bonds. So basically it deals in the securities issued by the government of India or any other state government. And last asset class is class A. A is the alternate investment bonds. Here comes a very important question. Means the question is that how much money one can invest in each asset classes of his total investment. So if we talk regarding the very first one means equities. So one is able to invest only 75% maximum of his total investment in class E. If we talk regarding class C and class G, a person is free to apportion 100% of the value of investment to class C or class G. Now the last one is the class A. In class A, a person is allowed to apportion maximum of 5% of total investment. Here comes a very important point. The point is related to equities. As you all know that equities are risky. So, with the increase in age of a person, the amount of money he can invest in equities reduces. When I was going through all the articles related to National Pension System for preparing this video, I have found a matrix mentioning the age detail and the maximum percentage which is allowed to apportion in the equities of the total investment. I'll try to explain you that matrix with the help of an example. Suppose a person is of 51 years. So at the age of 51 years, he'll be allowed to apportion maximum 75% to the equities of his total investment in NPS. Now next year when he turns 52, then the maximum percentage allowed for equities will be reduced by 2.5% and the person having 52 years of age will be allowed only for 72.5% of his total investment in equities. So, with the increase in age by 1 year, the maximum percentage which will be allowed to invest in equities of the total investment of a person will be reduced by 2.5%. So, if we calculate this matrix, at the age of 60 years, a person will be allowed to apportion maximum 50% of his total investment in NPS in equities. Here comes another important point that the total investment across all the asset classes, that is asset class E, C, G and A, shall be 100% in total. So friends, this was all about the active choice, means the choice in which a person was allowed to manage his own funds by his own. Now we'll discuss regarding the auto choice. Auto choice is good for the persons who do not have adequate knowledge regarding the management of the investments in NPS. Here, the money will be invested in life cycle funds, and the proportion of the money invested in all the three asset classes will be based on the predefined portfolios, and which will obviously change with the age of a particular person. As the age of the person increases, the investor's exposure to the corporate or the equity funds decreases. So friends, if we go in detail of this auto choice, basically there are three types of options available here. One is aggressive, another is moderate, and last one is the conservative. Friends, it's very important to note that the fundamental will remain always same. Means as the age of a person increases, the maximum amount that he can invest in equities will always reduce. So if we talk regarding this aggressive bond, so in aggressive bond, a person can invest maximum up to 75% of his total value in NPS. And if we talk regarding other two asset classes, means C and G, he can invest maximum up to 10% in C class, and in G class he can invest maximum up to 15% of his total investment in NPS. The second one is the moderate life cycle fund. In moderate life cycle fund, a person with 35 years of age will be allowed to apportion maximum 50% of his total NPS cost in equities. And if we talk regarding commodities and government securities, he'll be allowed to invest 30% of the value in commodities, and rest 20% he'll be allowed to invest in government securities. Now in moderate life cycle fund, as the age of a person reaches to 55, now the combination will be changed. He'll be allowed to invest maximum 10% of his total income to equities and 10% in commodities, and rest of the 80% he'll have to invest in government security. Now, if we try to understand the asset allocation of this conservative life cycle fund, a person with 35 years of age, he can invest maximum up to 25% of his total investment in equities. And now, if we talk regarding commodities and government securities, he can invest maximum 45% in commodities, and rest of the things means up to 30% he can invest in government securities. Now, when that person attains 55 years of age, the combination will be changed as in case of other two. Here, a person can invest maximum 5% of his total investment in equities as well as commodities, and he will have to invest 90% of his total funds in the government securities. So friends, this was all about active and auto choice, and I expect that all of you have understood these two topics, active as well as auto choice. Now friends, few very important points regarding national pension system. What happens if a person dies before attaining the age of 60? Now, I'd like to tell you all that if a person dies before the age of 60, all the accumulated funds will be transferred to his nominee or legal heir. Another very important question comes to our mind, that what happens if a person plans to come out of the scheme before attaining the age of 60 years. So here I would like to tell you all that if you exit from this scheme before attaining the age of 60 year, you will be able to withdraw 20% of the total accumulated money, and rest of the money will be converted in annuity, and you don't have any other option regarding this 80%. Friends, the most important topic means the withdrawal of this amount of national pension system. So, if you want to withdraw the money invested in NPS, you will have to fill a withdrawal form and you'll have to submit it to the POPs. Now, POPs will scrutinize this form and they'll forward this filled application form and verified application form to the central record keeping agencies and NSDL. After verification by these NSDL and central record keeping agencies, your application will be forwarded and will be again given to you, and they'll ask the documents needed for settling your claim. Once you submit all the documents along with the application form, your claim will be processed. Friends, there are four documents which are needed at the time of withdrawing your money of NPS. One is PRAN. As I have told you earlier regarding PRAN, Permanent Retirement Account Number, that 12-digit account number that has been issued to you at the time of opening NPS account. The second one is the address proof. third one is the identity proof, and last one is the cancelled check. So if you submit all these documents along with the filled and verified application form, your claims will be settled. So friends, this was all about today's topic, and I hope that I have been able to make you understand regarding these important aspects of National Pension System. And I request you all that if I have been able to deliver you all an important information and you have been able to understand that, then please watch, like and subscribe my YouTube channel, and rest of the informations regarding NPS will be given in the next video, that is NPS part 3. Till then, bye bye and take care.